Failure return. Okay. So in order to get that DBA logo, Market Center Intranet right here, under Market Center, Documents, Logo. So you can download that DBA logo and then just upload it into your command once you've saved it to your computer if you don't already have it in there. Back to my command screen. So Market Center Brokerage logo, again, making sure all of your contact information is accurate. Only compliance legal footer that's really needed is each office independently owned and operated. And then you just make sure that you have all of your social media in here correctly as well. Okay, once you have all of that done, you're just going to hit save. And again, that's setting up your marketing profile so that we can effectively use the campaigns and Smartplans. Once the marketing profile is set up, you're going to want to go into right here, still in your settings, but under command settings and applications. You're going to want to check to make sure that you have your DocuSign connected. You're going to want to check to make sure that you have your Twilio connected. If you don't have your Twilio connected, it'll show green like this. You can select Connect Account, and then it will walk you through the steps. Twilio is a paid app, so you have to put a credit card down with them to start it, but it walks you very much through the steps to get started as far as how to just put down a credit card. It charges you 20 bucks up front. If you do want to get a local phone number, the actual video of the first time I set that up in that YouTube video in the chat. It's like an 8-minute video, so it's not very long. If you want to take a look at that video I posted in the chat after today, it'll show you through how I actually walked through the Twilio step by step when I initially set this one up. I can't disconnect mine to reconnect it to show you guys because then I lose my Twilio access. And the Twilio, if you don't know, is what allows you to send text messages through command. So without this connected, you can't use any of the text function from the Smartplans. Okay. You want to make sure that your Facebook and Twitter accounts are connected. I don't have these on mine because I don't sell real estate. So I have connected to our Keller Williams accounts in Facebook. And then Facebook. Oh, last but not least, we need to just go in here and check this command email. You want to hit the manage right here and make sure that this is your KW email account. It should default to that, but best safe to just check it out one time. So that is good. I don't need to make any changes on there. And then the last thing we're going to do before we move into the actual campaigns, we're going to go up here to that, where'd that tab go? Oh, I didn't hit the enter. Where we had saved our KW app. This is your consumer facing app. So what you're going to want to do on here is you just want to go ahead and send this to your own cell phone. I get a text message, and that way I can download my app on here. You can share this app from this link to like anybody's cell phone here, but now that it's downloaded on my mobile, I can share it from the mobile device as well. So you just want to make sure that you're able to share your KW app in as many formats as you can. If y'all have any questions, feel free to raise your hands, put them in chats. Let me know if I'm missing anything that you're needing me to recover or anything along those lines. But if I don't hear from you, I'm just going to keep plugging along. All right.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So I started to set up my command and things like that, and I was putting in my bio, and I was able at that time to see like how my KW page would look like and my mobile app would look like. Mm-hmm. However, I went back days later, and like if I gave somebody my website, it would just be the generic KW website with not my information. So did I not save it, or?
It's possible your KW website should be accessible if you go to this, excuse me, I clicked on the wrong one. You go to this consumer applet at the very bottom of command, an agent page sites. You should have an agent page site that shows up right up at the top here. I don't have one.
Yeah,
let me just.
I did that. and I thought it went live, but maybe it didn't. That's why I was like, maybe I did something wrong. I thought it went live. It was going to stay live.
It should. So I just logged out as me and logged in as Terrell. So you can see his as your configure agent site here. So you did this configure site function. Is that what you did?
I did.
I would guess that it didn't save. If you've just done it in the last couple days, there's a bit of a phenomenon with Command where right before any major events, and you guys know we have Mega Camp coming up next week, they try and push out all the newest changes, and it causes some hiccups because they're doing a lot of changes at a time. That said, if you're functioning in Command right now, definitely use an incognito window. Because that's going to pull you the latest version of it. So that can be a workaround as well.
Okay.
All right. So let me log back out of Terrell's stuff before I change anything in there by accident. Okay. So is everybody fairly familiar with what the concept of campaigns and smart plans are?
Yes, for the most part.
Okay. Okay. So campaigns are going to be your posts that are going to generate leads. Smart plans are going to be your drip campaigns for following up with leads. So now that we have the marketing profile and all of those other things done in the background, we can actually pop into setting up campaigns. Right tab. So this is your dashboard for it. We're seeing a lot of folks have success with the paid ads, particularly the Facebook ads, where they're spending a little bit of money and getting a good quantity of leads on them. You can also set up emails, direct mails, and social posts here. So if you want to get ahead of your social posting and do like the whole month, you can just go in here. These are not paid ads. These are not going to be sponsored, but you can post. You can have your content going out regularly. So I do recommend doing that, especially if you're like me and if social post is the last thing you'll get around to in a day. So if I had it all scheduled out for the month, I'd be good to go. Right now, you can see I have nothing scheduled. But for the paid ads, I think that's where we're focused today because that's where we're seeing the most lead success come in. You just simply click on the paid ads here. And then you can see I've got one that's completed. I've got one that's in a draft format. So it'll show whatever you've set up already in this little dashboard right here. If we want to start a brand new one, we're just going to hit this create new campaign. Like I said, the social paid ads is what we're going to look at today because that's the one that does take the most configuration. So we'll click on that again. You have to give the campaign some sort of name. So we'll just name it test 6. And then you select what of these choices you want to focus on. So advertised listings has been one that's had a lot of good success on it. If you don't have your own listing at present, just make sure you get permission from the listing agent before you push out somebody else's listings. That shouldn't be too much of a problem because it's just simply more advertising for their listings, and there's no harm to a listing agent for their property to have additional exposure. So you can select this advertised listing, or you can advertise multiple listings, attract listings. This is actually the draft one I set up today. I did to attract listings. Attract talent if you're looking for people, just brand awareness or event awareness. So if you guys had a client event coming up, you can do an event awareness, or there's an attract buyers option as well. So we'll do the advertised listing for today. And then you have to pick which of the social you're going to post it on. So the Facebook paid ads is where we're seeing a lot of good success. The reason for that is twofold. So Facebook is looking at Keller Williams basically collectively. So instead of looking at you as an agent spending $30 or $50 or whatever it be, they're looking at us collectively and what that spend is. And because we have so many agents that are using it, it's promoting us to a higher level than you would be as an individual. And it also, the Facebook does the same thing like Amazon does. If you looked at a pair of shoes or whatever, they're going to keep popping up on all your other feeds. So it does do a good job with that for us as well. So if we hit the set up campaign, so because we did to search for a advertise a listing, I should say, it's going to prompt me with this search for a property address. because I don't have any listings. I have to change this only my listings to all listings. And then I'd be able to search by whatever information I wanted to as far as the property. It does give everything, so I obviously found some stuff in Canada. Probably not what I need. Let's see if I can just search by city. Just trying to see if we have one of our agents on there. We'll just pick a random one because we're not actually going to post anything today. So whatever property you were looking for, you would just select the select button here. And now you can see it's pulled in the details from that listing into our campaign already. So if you wanted to change the listing, if you pick the wrong one, you just use change. Then you're going to edit add text. It does, when you pull it from a listing, add the text on here. When I did the one earlier today that was for, what did I say it was? Attracting listings. It gave me some ideas of text to use in there. As far as, are you looking for a bigger house, or is it time to move, or those sorts of things, as far as headlines and whatnot. But it didn't give me the exact text. So from the listing, it's going to pull the exact text from the actual listing in the MLS. And you can see it is limited on the main copy to 250 characters, on the headline to 100 characters. That's way too long for a headline. And then on the description will be another 250 characters. So once we've added our headline, our description, you can see with these little starred items right here, a little red, if you don't put anything in there, it's not going to allow you to save. So you do need to have something in the content where it says save. And you can see also, as I was making these updates, it shows in my preview over here what the new updates, the new changes do. Okay. Once we have our text in there, we're going to say save that. And then we want to configure add media. So you can see it pulled the pictures from the listing here. I'm a little concerned this picture might not be a large enough size, but let's just see if that'll save add media. Okay, it did. And then you can add, so you can add, if you wanted to add more videos, so it goes through like, what's that called? Rotation. You can add multiple photos on there. You can actually add, let's do, I did not pick the prettiest house, did I, y'all? So we'll just add that one. Sure, save image. And then we could also add video too. So if you wanted to add video instead of the rotating images, you can do that. DBA logo, you can have it on the left, the right, doesn't really matter to me. And then we're going to save the add media. And you can see I'm just clicking down each of these on the right side, just so it says configure, make all my changes. So I need to pick a Facebook page. Like we talked about, when you're setting up your marketing profile, you'll put your Facebook page in there. It does need to be a business page to have paid ads on Facebook. So if you don't have a business page yet, you'll need to have one set up, or set one up, I should say. Because when I log into KW, I'm an admin on this Keller Williams Atlanta Partners website. It does show me, like, it command knows what Facebook has available for me. So I'm able to just look at the one that's a business page. It doesn't prompt me with like my personal page to even be an option on here. Okay. As far as destination, you can use use Facebook lead generation form, or use a site or landing page. Most folks are using the Facebook lead generation form, because then when somebody clicks on it, all they have to do is, yes, submit my information. It's everything that they already have in Facebook, versus using a site or landing page takes them out of the Facebook and takes them into your own page. That said, you definitely want to have a follow-up URL where they land. So since this is a listing page, we might actually want to create a listing ad. We might actually want to create a landing page for this, or you can send them direct to your agent website. But you want to make sure that you're sending them somewhere that's still branded to you, because you don't want to just send them out to, you know, a KW website or whatever. You want to make sure that they're clicking on this URL for get more information. It's staying on your branded information. I will just choose a landing site for now. Sure. Okay. Actually, no, I don't want to use that one. Okay. Use that one. With the ad targeting, you can just do a location and a radius around it. You can definitely modify that to be a larger radius or a smaller radius. You can do this expert targeting with the change of interests. What I have found though is this appears to be an and function versus an or function. So if you were to pick accounting, acting, and advertising, it would only appeal to people, it would only present to people that had looked at something that included accounting and acting and advertising, not accounting or acting or advertising. So just be careful if you're selecting too many things on here. I've just gone with not selecting anything on there as far as the expert targeting. There is quite a few options around real estate, but it already knows that that's what it's for because it's a listing ad. Okay. So once we put in our area, our radius, I should also mention this is a targeted custom audience. If you did want to target your database specifically, you can do just that. The point of the campaigns to me is to generate leads that aren't already in your database. So I don't know what ad you might want to do that for, but it does have the ability if that's something you wanted to do. Okay, save that. Okay. And then duration and budget. So when you go into command, it appears that it defaults to a 10-day and $30 budget or $3 a day. You can definitely change that to be a longer or shorter time period, depending on what you want the ad to run for. And of course, you can change the budget to be higher or lower as well. I hit save duration and budget. Basically, the next step would either be save as draft or publish campaign. I'm not going to publish this because I don't really want to put this out there. I don't really know exactly where Chamblee Tucker, this property even is. So I'm not going to publish this. If you did hit the publish function, let me just save as a draft. Yes. If you do hit the publish function, or when you do hit the publish function, and then you go back to your campaigns, dashboard here, it's going to say like reviewing. So Facebook has to review all the Facebook ads before they'll publish them. Usually takes about a day. I have seen some of them rejected versus some of them accepted, and I've not quite figured out the difference on there. But if for some reason it's rejected, go in, change a little ad media, change a little content, and then resubmit it to Facebook. Because that's not a KW thing where we're not approving it. That's a Facebook thing where they're not approving it. And unfortunately, I don't know exactly how their algorithms work on that. It's obviously not some person going through and reading all of this. It's some computer program that flagged it for something. So just make sure that your content is appropriate, that you have your legal footers in there, those sorts of things. I will also say if you're advertising a listing, best practice has been not to include the price of the property. So you want to include all the details and then give them the incentive, click here to get more information, contact me to get more information, so that you're gathering their contacts. The purpose isn't to sell them your listing. The purpose is, again, to build your contacts list in command so that you can continue to put them on drip campaigns. Does anybody have any questions so far on the campaigns?
No.
Okay. And again, guys, if you want to go in here, and I encourage everybody get in here and play with stuff. If you want to go in here and create these things as drafts, it's not going to cost you any money. Go ahead and create a couple of them as drafts. You get used to doing it, so that when you do need to do it for real, that you've got one set up. I would recommend doing it for real sooner rather than later, because like I said, we are seeing really good response or results, I should say, where agents are getting clicks, which is this function. And this was one I did for career night, so it's a kind of a little different, but where the people are getting these clicks for an average of about $2 per. You can see mine's a little bit more than that because it wasn't kind of the targeted that it needed to be regardless. So the very cool thing is, once you have a completed, or once you have a campaign in function and you have these clicks right here, where these are the people that actually clicked on it from their Facebook. They got the sponsored ad, they clicked on it. If you click right here, command is going to take you to the contact for that person. So when they click with their Facebook, because you use that Facebook information to gather their details, Facebook's going to, command's going to put them in here as a lead for you already, or as a contact with that lead tag already. So I recommend, as you're setting up the campaign, go ahead and set up the smart plan at the same time. Because the beauty of this is, as soon as I have all these people that said, hey, I did say I like this Facebook ad, I did want to get more information on that Facebook ad, all you have to do is click on this little select all right here. And regardless if it was 100 people or 1,000 people have clicked on that, it'll select them all, and then you can do a bulk action right here to add them to a smart plan. So it's really like a 2-click thing, that once you have these campaigns set up and once they're gathering those leads for you and you already have the smart plan set up, it's a 2-click connection to say, okay, here's the leads I need. Here's the follow-up information I need to send them. Depending on the lead, you may also want to make some phone calls. You may want to do those other things, but to put them on a smart plan right away is going to get them into that, that drip campaign that you need them on. Okay, so that is kind of the overview of the campaigns. Like I said, I encourage you to go in there and create some draft campaigns and see what that does for you. I'm going to move on to the smart plan portion of it, since we're already at 5:30, unless anybody has any questions. Okay. Smart plans. Smart plans. Okay. So if you first log into Smart Plans and you haven't created any yet, you won't have anything in this My Smart Plans. These are all ones that I've adopted or created or somehow got into My Smart Plans. So the first time you won't have anything there. You will have the library, which is Smart Plans that Keller Williams has created. So you'll have this library of, I think it's about a dozen default plans that you can use right away. So if you want to use any of these, you would just click the add to smart plan, or if you want to see the details of them, you can say to view the steps on there and see what it actually is. But it does nothing to add smart plan to My Smart Plan libraries. That doesn't mean you're actually making it live or making it functional. It just moves it from the library to My Smart Plans. There's also right here a go to smart plan Kelly guide. So this is a good resource if you guys are walking away from today going, what was Dawn talking about? I have no idea. You can go back to these Kelly guides and they step-by-step walk you through as well. We already did complete your market profile, so it's going to start you even at that level, activate your smart plans, and then review. So that Kelly guide's a good resource as far as just walking you step-by-step if you need a little bit more beyond what you got today. Okay, let me go back to our smart plans. So like I said, you can go to the My Smart Plans, you go to the library. If you don't have any already, under My Smart Plans will be ones that you've already adopted. This published is a coming soon feature. Well, we all know if it's grayed out in command, it's coming soon. But what the published is going to be is that agents that have created their own smart plans can put them in here and allow you as another agent to adopt them. So another level of sharing as far as the information that's in here. For today's purposes, I'm going to show you how to create one from scratch, just because that's going to be the most involved. If you already had one and you just want to adopt it, it's the same, same steps as you would to create one from scratch. So we will hit this blue create in the top corner. Oops. Give the smart plan a name. So when I open a brand new smart plan, it's just going to have No steps over here, and then my choices of steps over here. So your choices of steps in a smart plan are create a task, make a call, send an email, send an SMS or text message, set a delay, add to another smart plan, or restart the flow. So the emails, they're going to be sent directly from command. So if you set it up with somebody on a smart plan to send an email, and you don't take that person off the smart plan, it's going to send that email in a month or 2 months, regardless of any communication you've had with them in the meantime. So just be cognizant of who you're leaving on smart plans if they're already in a direct dialogue with you. You don't want to be a little tone deaf, or as may have happened in March and April of this year, if you're sending people, hey, open house, great time to buy, you may have appeared a little tone deaf. You know, the proper content for that time of year was, are you okay? Do you need anything? So just making sure that you're cognizant that these things are going to run in the background until you stop them. So if we wanted to create a brand new smart plan, we can choose from any of these to start with. So just as example, let's go ahead and send an email as our first step. All I do is click on the send email little icon right here, and you can see over on the left side, I now have step 1, send email from me, enter subject, test email. And then you can type your email message in here, and it'll send out exactly what you say to send. Now this little F function right here is very useful for you, because this is what's going to allow you to add some information direct to the contact. So this is going to pull information from the contact card. So if I want to say hi, and then contact's first name, whatever. So you can do those merge functions to have it put in the contact's first name, so it appears that you're sending an email directly to them, even though it's command sending on your behalf. Okay, so once you have your email the way you want it to be, or the way you want to start the draft, you can always go back and revise these until they're active. So if I'm just putting this together for today, I might start, okay, I want to start with the email that says test email, how are you? Or, yeah, I hope you're well. So typically after you've taken step 1, the next thing is going to be to set a delay, because you're not going to do everything on the same day. So if I just want to, hey, set a delay, and then I don't want to send anything else to this person for 5 or 6 days. I'm just going to select the number of days I want, maybe 5 days, and then save that. And that's going to be step 2, is set delay. And then you just kind of scroll back up here on this side. Let's see, I sent an email first. Maybe I want to send a text message as the next step. Click on the text message. Same exact system. It's going to say send from your Twilio account, which is going to be that account that you set up earlier. Let's go to hi, contact first name, follow up text message, and then just save that. Now, if I decide that I really did want to send the text message before the email, you can use these little up and down functions to move the order of the steps in the smart plan. So as you're creating this, you have a little creativity, little levity in how you go about creating it. I will say that if you guys are part of the groups, command your database or command your conversion, both of these Facebook groups give you a lot of ideas as far as smart plans that people have used. I think they're private, but if you just put in the your KW agent, yeah, members only. So you just put in the your KW agent, and there's links in here under the files typically, and you can see recruiting smart plan. Download that. You can see that there's links in there to say what files are available. People are sharing the exact wording that they use. So you can literally, from these Word documents, you could cut and paste into your smart plan. So that's where you get the information for them. If you don't already have content that you want to use, if you don't already have a message that you want to send, feel free to borrow from the folks that have already created it. That's why they're putting it out there for us. So let's do one more step. We're going to set a delay. And we'll do that for 3 days, 4 days for sure. And then we can do create a task, which is going to make it show up on our task list, or we can do a make a call. So I'm going to set make a call. Command's obviously not going to make phone calls for you. I think I just clicked on that twice. I did. So if you do make a mistake and you click on it twice like I did, you can see step 5 is make a call and step 6 is make a call. Just click the X to delete. Yes, I want to remove that step. So with the make a call, the cool thing with that is that you can actually, it's going to give you your due date, your task name. So if you use this function format in the task name, you can say, so I just hit contact phone number, contact last name, contact first name. I probably should have put those in different order. But now when my task comes up, it's going to say call John Smith at 678 blah, blah, blah. So I don't even have to click into his contact card to know what my dials for that day need to be. So you can set that. You can also, if you have a particular script that you're, wanting to attach to this smart plan versus a different one, so that when your task comes up, it's going to say, follow up from open house smart plan day 6, see if they need my app to download. You can give yourself those sorts of cues so that when you do get these tasks popping up regularly in your command, once you have a sizable database in there, you're not just having a make a call and then the information. You're actually having what you want, what the conversation you need to have at this point with this particular contact should be. So that's definitely a best practice. Either. It's definitely a best practice on the make a call function, because that'll help you just stay organized on who you need to call and what you need to say to them. Okay. Make sure after you do your smart plan, you hit the save button up here. It will, if you try and navigate away, it will tell you, are you sure you want to leave? It's not been saved or something along those lines. But now you can see if I go back to my smart plan library, my smart plans. Where did my smart plan go? There it is. Had to refresh. I thought I lost it. Okay, so now you can see that I've got the smart plan in here. You can hit that drop down to make the changes to it, or see the steps to it. If you decide that you do want to make some changes to it, there's an edit function over here. I will tell you that if you have a smart plan that people are already on, the edit function probably won't allow you to make any changes to it. Unless they've changed something since last time I was in here. Yeah, this is an active smart plan, so you have limited editing ability. So once you have people actually on the smart plan, if you wanted to make revisions to it and start new people on it, the best practice is just to use this copy, and then you just create a new version of it. And then you can edit that version, so you're not taking people that are already on one off to make the changes. You're just creating a new version of it. To my knowledge, there's no limit on the number of smart plans that we can create, so you can make copies of any of them that you want to. When you hit the copy, it's just going to give you that. And then you're going to have test 6 and copy of test 6. So like I said, if you've got people on this one, refresh again. You've got people on this one, and you can see the little eyeball here means that you have somebody on that smart plan. If it doesn't have, if it just has a dash here, that means you've created the smart plan, but there's nobody actually receiving any emails, texts. You're not going to receive any messages for calls because there's no contacts connected to it. So And what I did to add the people to the contact was I just went right here, this little plus sign, and then you can search by name. You can search by tags. So if you have a group tagged in your contacts, you can send to everybody in that group. So it's real easy to pick and choose who you want to add to different smart plans. You know, definitely want to be using those tags as you're putting in contacts so that you can help yourself sort in the long term to add people to these smart plans real quickly. So that's folks that are already in your contacts. And like we said a minute ago, if you're using the campaigns to gather the leads, then you could just go directly from that campaign. Hey, Dad. You can go directly from that campaign information. Spam. You can go directly from that campaign information, click on the people that gave their Facebook information, select them and add them to the smart plan right here as well. That's a good point here too. So if you have a lot of people that you're adding to a smart plan at once, you may want to, it gives you the option to start everyone now, start everyone in a day or two, or stagger. So if you have more than 20, 50 people that you're adding, you may want to stagger them over a period of a couple of days. That way, if they do start responding very quickly, which would be great, you don't get overwhelmed with too many people getting back to you at once. So you can stagger those people over. I think it's up to 30 days or not. Nope. Up to, oh, because I only have 4 people. So it's going to let me stagger for 4 days because there's only 4 people on this list. I'm pretty sure it's a maximum of 30 days if you have like 100 or 200 people on your list. Let me cancel that because I don't want to send this to those people. I don't know who those people are. Remove that. Wrong button. Okay. Lost my train of thought here. Okay, so I'm going to go back and just delete this. Copy that. Yes, delete that. Okay, so that's the basics of setting up campaigns and setting up smart plans. With the smart plans, you can also include your app in them. So from this, no. So from the text message, you can also include your KW app link in there. So you can text out your app link that way. It doesn't, I don't know why it doesn't let me from email, but it only lets me from text message. So you can text out your app if you want to use that. In the, oh, yes. In the My Library, there is a Promote My App smart plan already set up. There is a bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. There is a long-term nurture. So if you guys have folks that you're very passively communicating with and you just want to keep a little bit of, up the top of their mind, you can definitely put them on a long-term nurture. What that does is just once you have neighborhoods set up for them, it's going to send them information in their neighborhood every month indefinitely. And it sends the updated information for what's active in their specific neighborhood at that time. So every month what they get it's going to be new content. But you're not having to set it up every month. It's just sending automatically from those. So we know that best practices says that we want to have people on 36 touches a month. A year. So it might be ideal for especially folks that you're more passively communicating with if you have them on a long-term nurture and maybe a quarterly call plan and a Promote My App plan. So you can use multiple apps on the same people. There's no reason you can't have somebody on more than one app. More than one smart plan at a time. And that's just going to provide them different content at different times from you. So you can get that going. Again, just be cognizant that people are going to stay on these smart plans until you take them off. So if you have home anniversary and somebody lets you know they're getting a divorce and they're not selling the house or whatnot, you maybe don't want to tell them congratulations on that next year. So just be cognizant. Obviously, there's going to be things that change that you don't know about. But I just want to make sure that, we're trying to be as respectful and as in tune with people as we can be. So we got about 10 minutes left. I know it was quick, but I did want to leave a little bit of time for Q&A to see what additional I could show you guys.
Hey, Dawn.
Andrina.
Hey, can you show me a track buyers campaign?
A paid ad, Andrina?
Yes.
Okay. Create new. Social paid. Track buyer. Select Facebook. So with a track buyer, I probably wouldn't include a listing in here. And it's just going to give you basically a blank default on here. This one didn't actually give me sample text like the other one did. The attract listing one gave me some sample text.
Yeah.
Track buyer. And one of the things I was listening to earlier today too was about putting the Keller Mortgage link into some of your attract buyer information so that they have that 0+ loan link in here. And we can do that too. Login. Your Keller Mortgage login is the same as your login for everything else, FYI. So if I go to my Keller Mortgage and I logged in as me because I had it saved up here, KM settings, this little link right here is actually going to be a personal link for you. So if you want to have your agent's ability to, excuse me, your client's ability to click on the Keller Mortgage and it's already branded to you, just go to this Your Keller Mortgage, KM settings, and my personal link.
Okay.
I got too many things right there. That said, you probably do want to use a bit.ly. If y'all don't know bit.ly, it's a URL shortener.
Yep.
That's a long link. Paste my long URL. Because it, oh, what just happened? Paste. Particularly with text messaging. Why is this not? Particularly with text messaging, a long link like this is most likely going to get flagged and probably not get clicked on either. So I will do the short link, which is, again, through that bit.ly is the name of stuff, B-I-T-L-Y. It's a free app and it just shortens URL links. So you could do, are you ready to stop writing? I don't know. I'm just adding some random text in here. You could do the link to the Keller Mortgage if that's what you wanted to do. Your ad media. You can, again, do video. So if you wanted to do maybe one of the neighborhood videos, that'd be a good thing to put in a track buyers listing. Or if you just had, you know, some logo type thing, Keller Williams #1 in real estate, you can add video from uploaded, a neighborhood video. Let's just do a neighborhood video. Smoke rise. I like to do smoke rise. So the neighborhood video, if y'all don't know, it's going to pull this information default. You can customize anything that you need to in here. So I don't think I need to really put pennies in the price, average price. I'll leave it on the square footage, average days on market. Okay, next. generating. Generating. Says 10 seconds. Save and post video. Come on, come in. Probably shouldn't have done a video. Probably should have just done a still photo. Hindsight. I will give it another second and then I'm going to go back and change it to a photo. Yep, done with that. Okay, track buyer. Basically the same steps, so I just added a random image. Make sure I have my business page adjusted. Make sure I choose a landing page for them to end up at. If we wanted to do custom, change the custom. Oh, it changed me to Austin, Texas. Let's not do that. Georgia. We'll do 25 miles, 25 miles. Again, we can add those interests if we want to, but be careful because that can limit how many people get exposed to your ad. Let's save that. Oop, missed the required field. Yep. Again, putting in your duration and budget, it defaults to 10 days, 30 bucks, but you can change that. Why does it not like my ad text? Oh, headline. So you can see, let me undo that real quick. You can see when I was finished with this, it's got check mark, check mark, check mark, and it's got this little red triangle. It won't let me post this campaign right now because it's got that triangle right there. It's telling me there's something wrong in my ad text that I need to address before I can post it. So when I went in there, it's got a little red box around the headline. So I just need to make sure there's some content in the box that says headline. So the process to set them up is really pretty much the same. It's just what ad text you're going to include. You do want to use those default, you know, the track buyer, track listing correctly, because I'm not sure how that's communicated to Command and Facebook, but I'm sure there's some massive algorithms that people way smarter than me created to set that up. So do, you know, select the one that's most like your option, but there is also an other option in there. So if you needed to create it for something, you know, kind of outside of the track buyers, track listings, those sorts of things, there is an other option in there too.
Gotcha. Is there a way to see what it looks like? What the ad looks like?
So what I would do is, let's see, where did it go? Refresh. Okay. Am I not spinning here? I'll just close some windows. That preview on the right side, if I can get back to there at all, is what it's going to look like. That's that the left side's your configuration window, your right side's your preview window. Let's try and go this one. Refresh one more time. All right, try this. So this is your preview over here. So you can see that you could actually change, if you had selected more than just Facebook, you'd be able to select the Instagram preview or the Facebook preview. So this is Facebook web feed. This is what it'll look like on Facebook mobile.
Okay.
I mean, obviously
I'm
I put
looking at
no content in here. So if you put real words in there, it would say the real words right over here.
I was looking at it on my phone, sorry.
Yep.
So I didn't see that. I had to
Oh.
slide over. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem, no problem. So guys, definitely jump on some of those Facebook groups with, like I said, the command your conversion and command your database, because that'll give you some good ideas and stuff to run. And people are sharing like what they've spent, what their return was. Some of it's pretty astounding as far as how many leads they're generating in just short periods of times without a lot of lead spend. So make sure that you're getting these campaigns set up. You can always put yourself on things. Like I said, you can always create a smart plan, put yourself on there initially. That way you can see exactly what it looks like. There's no, other than the Twilio, which is 0.007 cents per 160 characters, you know, there's no expenses creating those smart plans. So I definitely recommend you get on there, play with them, get them set up for either your clients or yourself at least right now so you can get comfortable with them. Get those campaigns started so that you can be generating the leads. And then, like I said, as you're creating the campaign, go ahead and set up the smart plan at the same time, because that way your brain's going to be on kind of what that dialogue needs to look like. And you can go ahead and 2 clicks put people on a smart plan as soon as they register on that Facebook. Anybody else have questions? I got nothing in the chat. For anybody that started late, there is a YouTube link in the chat. That's my lovely YouTube video of how to set up your marketing profile if you don't already have it set up, how to get your Twilio set up, and how to get your custom local phone number for Twilio. I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but Twilio does default to an Austin-based phone number. So if you want, you know, Atlanta-based phone number 678 or 404, you need to pay $1 per month to have a local phone number through Twilio. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all joining me tonight. Hopefully you found this helpful. I will just close by saying, if you find these trainings helpful, I mean, you know of any agents not with Keller Williams that might benefit from our training, we are always looking for referrals for good agents. So please, please reach out to me or reach out to Terrell if you have somebody you think we could help to build their real estate business. Other than that, y'all have a great night, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thanks.
Thanks, Don.
Bye, Dawn.